Hey guys, Aaron from Diet Science Revolution. Today I want to talk about your supplement and how it may not be helping you, but actually might be causing harm. Okay, so let me set the stage for you here. You go to your physician and your physician says, hey, it looks like you might be at risk for osteoporosis or bone degeneration, after he runs some scans on you. And he says, I think you should go get yourself a calcium supplement and try that out. So you go to your local grocery store and you get a calcium supplement. Now, in that calcium supplement is most likely calcium carbonate, which you're going to pay about $8 for or so. So, what exactly is calcium carbonate? Okay, it's a very cheap form of calcium. It's actually pounded rock. It's limestone, basically, that's been pounded to dust, and they use that as a calcium supplement. So, the doctor says, I want you on 1,500 milligrams of calcium every day. So you look at the pill. It's 500 milligrams, so you got to take 3 of those a day to equal 1,500 milligrams, right? So, in that pill is actually 300 milligrams of carbonate and 200 milligrams of calcium. So if you're taking 3 of those a day, you're only getting 600 milligrams of actual calcium. Now, that being said, since it's a cheap form of calcium coming from the limestone, that it only has an absorption rate of about 10%. So in all reality, you're only getting about 20 milligrams of calcium per pill. So in essence, it comes out to about 60 milligrams that you're actually getting from a 1,500 milligram pill of calcium, which, as you can see, would absolutely do nothing to help you in your situation. Now, that being said, calcium carbonate is not digested by the body well. So it kind of builds up in your system and can kind of gunk up the works. So buying your supplements from a grocery store, which is, I might add, is not FDA approved, is probably not a good idea. Now here at the Revolution, I've taken the time to study these supplements and make sure that they are the best and most absorbable forms. They're non-GMO. I make sure that I avoid wheat, gluten, soy, milk, and things like that that can cause allergens in people. And I also try to come up with vegan options for my vegan friends who wish to not have animal proteins and things like that in their supplements. Okay, so you've been taking your store-bought calcium for a couple months now, and you're coming back to your doctor for a follow-up appointment. So he does another scan and he sees that your situation hasn't improved, and he says, well, obviously the calcium's not working, so we need to give you a drug called Boniva or Fosamax. You remember the Boniva commercials with Sally Fields? Yeah, she's no longer doing those commercials anymore. And I'll tell you why. Because what these are in the allopathic reductionism system, as we've talked about already, is stopping your ability to break down and reproduce new bone. So you have 2 things in your body called osteoclasts and osteoblasts. Okay, and both of these elements are meant to tear down old bone and rebuild new bone in your body, and that's happening all the time. Okay, so what they do is they stop the osteoclast, okay, from happening. The osteoclast comes in, tears down the old bone. Osteoblasts come back and build the new bone for you. Okay, so they stop that process of breaking down of old bone. So you get this old bone that piles up and piles up and piles up, and its new bone is never made. So that you go back to your doctor again, the doctor looks at you and goes, oh, hey, your DEXA scan looks great. You have, all this bone here piled up, and it looks like we've stopped your osteoporosis. But in reality, you get this influx of old bone building up in your system, and then one day you're walking down the street and your bones snap like dried tinder. Okay, so this is not an effective way to treat it. Now there's 3 types of calcium that I like to use: calcium citrate, calcium orotate, and ionic calcium. All 3 of those are much better absorbed by the body. And I really like the ionic calcium because the ionic calcium gets absorbed at the top of the stomach, and you get about a 99% absorption rate on that. So in reality, these are much better forms of calcium and more absorbable and less harmful to the body than you would have with calcium carbonate. Now, in all reality, the best way to get calcium in your body is through food. That's always the best and most absorbable way to get any kind of vitamin or mineral. So you want to eat things like spinach, leafy greens like kale and things like that. But the problem is most people in the United States don't eat vegetables. So you need to be supplementing. It's mandatory. Okay, you need to have all your vitamins and minerals that are essential with your fatty acids and your amino acids and things like that. Especially if you're not a meat eater, you need to be on an amino acid supplement, because it's very difficult to get all the 12 essential amino acids that you actually need by eating just vegetables alone. It can be done. However, if you're somebody who eats meat and you're on a standard American diet and you don't eat much vegetables, you have to supplement. And it's really good. You can either go to the store and buy yourself an organic green drink, or you can get it from me. Now, I use greens first. Okay, this is loaded with all kinds of vitamins and minerals and phytochemicals and things like that, because it's all an organic blend of all kinds of vegetables and fruits all together, and it takes the best elements of them and puts them into the drink. Especially if you're going to do the ketogenic diet like I've recommended to some people, that is perfect to take with that. So if you get it from me, you get a 10% discount. Now, I have found that this Greens First Pro has a couple different flavors. It's got your original green flavor. I haven't really tried that one. I have tried the berry flavor, and it tastes kind of like watermelon strawberry, but it has a little hint of an aftertaste of kale. So if you don't like the bitter taste of kale, I recommend the chocolate. And this is what I'm using now. The chocolate is very good, actually, and you can kind of mix this together in a smoothie, or mix it with some organic pea protein or something like that. So get that. Or as I said, if you just want to get it from the store, but you're not guaranteed how it's going to taste from the store, so you can kind of experiment for that. But you're going to save a little money getting it from me, because I'm able to pass some savings along to you. Another benefit of the Greens First is it alkalizes the blood, and it also has powerful properties to reduce inflammation. It's a really good antioxidant, and it contains turmeric root and things like that that help reduce the inflammation of some of the bad foods we eat, like fried foods, oils in a bottle, wheat gluten, and things like that. If you have not watched my video yet, Foods That Harm, go to my website, www.dietsciencerevolution.com, and it's right on the front page, or you can catch it on my Facebook page. But you need to watch that video and avoid these foods that cause harm to your body. Also on my webpage, at the top bar, there's a link that says chronic diseases, and then you click on that. There's a drop-down menu, and there's a list of chronic conditions there that if you're suffering from, I give you interventions on that. I show you what foods you should be eating, why you have that comorbidity in the first place, and what supplements I recommend to help your body heal from those conditions. Also, there's a link up there that says more. You click the link that says more, it'll have a drop-down menu, and that's how you get to my store. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something today, and I hope this makes you think next time you go to buy a cheap supplement from a grocery store. Please like and subscribe to our Facebook page as well as our YouTube page. Good luck and good health.